found that a lot of lawyers, they get too fancy. The more you can refine it and get more straight to the point, the higher the conversion rates. That's what resonates and actually converts in marketing. There's a framework to this. So let's go through the framework. If you haven't listened to our last episode, please do, because they were pretty insightful. So let's continue. The biggest mistakes that law firm owners make is being clever and not clear. I found that a lot of lawyers, they get too fancy when it comes to their marketing, their messaging, trying to be very on the creative side. What I've learned from experience is it's a lot better to be a lot more clear and straightforward and as succinctly as possible with as few words as possible. The more you can refine it and get more straight to the point, the higher the conversion rates. So while creativity is valuable, actually clarity takes precedent over that. Let's try to give some examples. When it comes to your advertising, a lot of people try to get creative when it comes to their hooks, try to use ambiguous similes or analogies or some like unclear language where maybe sophisticated people understand it or some certain type of people can understand it. But for the average person, it takes a little bit of brain power to really understand what they're saying. Instead, call out clearly those people that you help and very succinctly explain the specific problems that they have in layman language, specific pain points, not like the legalese pain points, but like specific actual pain points, the feelings, those exact, when you take a moment of how they're feeling at that moment when they're dealing with that pain and you put that succinctly into words, that's what resonates and actually converts in marketing. When I was learning this, there was a really good resource that I learned from, which I'll share with our audience, and that's from Donald Miller. There's an amazing YouTube video called Donald Miller's Story Brand One-Liner Exercise. It only has 300,000 views right now, which it actually deserves to have millions of views. And it was really game-changing for me to get really clear on creating a one-liner every time I wanted to launch a new law firm, a new advertising campaign. That was like the foundational piece I would go to get that my one-liner, which we'll get to shortly. And from that I was able to create all the, again, campaigns, advertisements, the websites, the funnels, the emails, the text, and everything came from that. Should we go through the one-liner, Neil?
My observation is that I think a lot of times we as attorneys think that we need to be the creative guru for our marketing. And you went to law school to be a lawyer, and you're an entrepreneur to excel in business. So you have to recognize what you do well and what you should leave to the professionals. And this Donald Miller framework here will help guide you. If you're going to use a professional to work on that, then this will give you some additional focus. And so, yes, let's go through it.
All right. So this exercise is pretty much the answer you will give when somebody asks you, what do you do? So when somebody asks, what do you do? Imagine you're at a party and people are talking and you ask somebody in your little clique, hey, what do you do? So person number one says, I'm an at-home chef. Okay, great. That sounds good. Person number two, what do you do? And person number two says, most families don't eat together anymore. And when they do, they don't eat healthy. I'm an at-home chef and I come to your home to make sure you enjoy your food and maintain your healthy lifestyle. When people hire me, I free up their time, their frustrations, and make them more money. Which one engages you more? Which one captures the essence of how you help people? Well, definitely the second one. Well, there's a framework to this. So let's go through the framework. It's 3 parts. The first part of the framework is the problem. You want to clearly identify your client's problem. Again, we mentioned this, these specific feelings and words, these feelings that people are experiencing before they come and hire you. Second part is, what's your solution? And very succinctly, again, avoiding any legalese. Just try to take any of the legalese out. As soon as you notice that it's something that you probably know as a lawyer, or something that you do, try to avoid that. Instead, what's the ultimate result or ultimate benefit that your potential clients get months after you help them? And the third is, what's the reward? How does your client's life look like after their problem is resolved? And that should lead to a 1 to 2 sentences max, very succinct description of your pretty much what you do. We give a little gist of this, but I remember when I got exposed to this, Neil, I realized the foundation of the messaging of the law firm it starts from here. So we actually dedicated our program, the first module. A good portion of this was working in the trenches to get this down, working in like a workshop setting. Here's some more examples. Here's some examples for estate planning lawyers, for business lawyers, etc. Now go create your own. People will go create it, and they will come back, share it, and we will refine it together until we lock it in. And it's one of those things also that's not like you just get it. First try you do this. It usually takes weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes even years. I have a Apple Note on my phone that's called straight up one-liners. And as the new things came to me and I get more clarity and I ask myself, how can I refine it? Even years later, I'm refining that one-liner.
It's a really important point, Sam, because again, you want to leap off the gangplank, so to speak. You want to move on with this, but don't think that you have to lock this one-liner or this 2 or 3 sentence description of what it is you do and how it helps your clients. I think you have to lock that in right away. You're going to refine it and continue to refine it over and over again until you get the results that you're looking for.